Universal Music Enterprises presents Welcome to My Nightmare, the radio show.
Welcome. We have been expecting you.
We broke a door down that seemed to be an impregnable door because when we first started, there wasn't a band out there that liked us. We were the underdog musically. We were not that great of a band to start with, but we got really good. Alice will always represent the lunatic fringe. My fans were the disenfranchised. They were the ones that were kind of the outcasts in school, and they were the ones that weren't in the in crowd. That's going to be my people. They ended up being a lot bigger than I thought. There's always been a strong moral core to Alice. Yes, we're outlaws, but that doesn't mean we're without laws. Bad gets punished, good always wins, but let's see how we get there.
Welcome to My Nightmare, with Alice Cooper.
All aboard. Watch your step, people. Last call for the Nightmare Express.
She was a dirty dream, cool and clean, with seduction dancing in her eyes. She turned around, looked me up and down, it took me by surprise. I tried to run, I tried to hide, but my feet were made of clay. Looked in her eyes, I was paralyzed, and I just couldn't get away. She licked her lips, they were bloody red. She had the heart of the living dead. She pushed me down on a burning bed. Thought I was in heaven, but instead she turned her head and she softly said, "I'll bite your face off. I'll bite your face off. I'll bite your face off. Little man, I'll bite your face off. You know that I can." She put the whip in the cream. She was the sinner's queen with a delicious angel face. Then she'd invite you in. Come on and lick my skin. You trade your soul for another taste. She took my heart, my resistance fled. I loved each lie that I was fed. She pushed me down on a burning bed. This was in heaven, but instead she turned her head and she softly said, "I'll bite your face off. I'll bite your face off. I'll bite your face off. Little man, I'll bite your face off. You know that I can." She pushed me down on a burning bed. Thought I was in heaven, but instead she turned her head and she softly said, "I'll bite your face off. I'll bite your face off. I'll bite your face off. Little man, I'll bite your face off. You know that I can."
I'll Bite Your Face Off, the one and only Alice Cooper. The CD is called Welcome to, the number 2, My Nightmare. a sequel to Alice's 1975 album, Welcome to My Nightmare. Hi, I'm Gary Moore. Welcome to the show. Alice Cooper began life as Vincent Fernier in Detroit, Michigan. The family moved to Arizona when he was in his teens. After his high school band had a series of local hits, he and his bandmates moved to Los Angeles in 1966. To stand out from the crowd, they decided they needed a gimmick. So the band became Alice Cooper. Why Alice Cooper? Vincent later claimed that it conjured an image of a sweet little blonde girl with a hatchet behind her back. As the band became more popular, fans assumed that Vincent Fernier, frontman, was in fact named Alice Cooper. So he went with it. After a series of albums and hit singles, the band broke up, and Vincent became Alice Cooper for real. His first solo album back in 1975 was a concept album called Welcome to My Nightmare. Now, some 35 years later, fresh on the heels of the band's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Alice Cooper returns to that nightmare with the original band and their original producer, Bob Ezrin. We asked Alice if he recognizes the power of the first Nightmare album.
You know, it's very funny because I think I'm reminded of it every day. I just don't live in the past. You know, I appreciate the past and I appreciate what happened. But I'm sitting here thinking, what are we going to do after this album? Because I have those songs as an arsenal. And every time I do those songs, I know where they came from and I remember it and I appreciate them. But I kind of look at the fact that we broke a door down that seemed to be an impregnable door. And we paid for it because when we first started, there wasn't a band out there that liked us. Our thrust was rehearsing 9 hours a day because we understood we were the underdog musically. We were not that great of a band to start with, but we got really good. Bob Ezrin then took us to the next level. He invented our sound then. You went, oh, that's Alice Cooper.
Lines form on my face and hands. Lines form from the ups and downs. I'm in the middle without any plans. I'm a boy and I'm a man. I'm 18 and I don't know what I want. 18, I just don't know what I want. 18, I gotta get away. I've gotta get out of this place. I'll go running in outer space again. I've got a baby's brain and an old man's heart. Took 18 years to get this far. Don't always know what I'm talking about. Feels like I'm living in the middle of doubt. 'Cause I'm 18, I get confused every day. 18, I just don't know what to say. 18, I gotta get away. Lines form on my face and my hands. Lines form on the left and right. I'm in the middle of life. I'm a boy and I'm a man. I'm 18 and I like it. Yes, I like it. Oh, I like it, love it, like it, love it. 18, 18, 18, 18, and I like it.
I'm 18, the breakthrough hit for the Alice Cooper Band back in 1970. It paved the way for the band's trademark epic concert performances and controversial career. And when the band broke up, Alice Cooper went on to forge his own identity. His first recording without the band was the epic 1975 album, Welcome to My Nightmare. Produced by Bob Ezrin, the record tells the story of a little boy named Stephen.
Well, I just felt that this character, this little Stephen character, was sort of everybody's little boy, you know, sort of everybody's little kid that was either psychotic or in wonder of everything, or the victim of the nightmare, or he was not Alice, he was another little part of Alice, maybe Alice's childhood. And it was almost like a character that I wanted to pop up. And every time we would get in the middle of one of the songs, Bob would go, perfect place for Stephen to show up. And I'd go, yeah, let's put him in here. More for the fans. They would understand that he was going to show up somewhere. We figured that from Nightmare on, Stephen was going to find his way into every record. Maybe he's the conscience of Alice, I don't know. Maybe he's the history of it. Maybe he's the little boy that's on Alice's shoulder.
Welcome to my nightmare. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong. A nocturnal vacation, unnecessary sedation. You wanna feel at home, 'cause you belong. Welcome to my nightmare. Welcome to my breakdown. I hope I didn't scare you. That's just the way we are when we come down. We sweat and laugh and scream here, 'cause life is just a dream here. You know inside you feel right at home here. Welcome to my breakdown. You're welcome to my nightmare, yeah.
the title track from Alice Cooper's epic 1975 concept album, Welcome to My Nightmare. A sequel has just been released, Welcome to My Nightmare, with the number 2. When the first album came out 30-some years ago, the concepts of alienation and being outside normal society were very relevant. We ask Alice if those themes are still relevant today.
Alice will always represent the lunatic fringe. I don't think Alice will ever represent the mid-core audience the way that like a Bruce Springsteen will, or the way, which is great. That's what he does. He's a hero. He's an American hero, whereas Alice is an American outlaw. You can't have that hero without the outlaw. You have to have one to feed the other. Now we have a lot of outlaws. But at the time, I realized that my fans were not the ones going to Woodstock to see Country Joe and the Fish, or anybody that was mainstream, even though we loved those bands. My fans were the disenfranchised. They were the ones that were kind of the outcasts in school, and they were the ones that weren't in the in crowd. I said, that's gonna be my people out here. And they ended up being a lot bigger than I thought. There were a lot more disenfranchised artists out there that didn't fit into the core than I realized. Even though Alice was this villain, I think there's always been a strong moral core to Alice. Yes, we're outlaws, but that doesn't mean we're without laws. If you look back through Alice, there's always been a strong Christian core. Bad gets punished, good always wins, but let's see how we get there.
I don't know why my whole world came crashing down. I just woke up in lonely town. I opened up my eyes, and much to my surprise, look at this heaven that I found. Don't need to care about tomorrow. I got no pain, I got no sorrow. I'm the last man on earth, so tell me what it's worth. Am I a beggar or a king? Got no trouble, got no time. Eternity is mine. I got a whole lot of everything. I can take this town and just burn it to the ground. Smash every window that I see. I can smoke, I can drink, I can swear and I can stink. There ain't no one to bother me. No, no. Don't need to care about tomorrow. I got no pain, I got no sorrow. I'm the last man on earth, so tell me what it's worth. Am I a beggar or a king? Got no trouble, got no time. Eternity is mine. I got a whole lot of everything. It's all mine. There's not a single soul to talk to me, but that's okay, I never liked them. I'm the last man on earth, and I know what it's worth. I'm not a beggar, I'm a king. Got no troubles, got no time, and everything is fine.
Alice Cooper from his brand new album, Welcome to My Nightmare. That was Last Man on Earth.
Definitely a Tom Waits tip of the hat. Because it was down in here. I'm the last man on earth. And you know what it's worth. There's a certain carny thing to it. I kept thinking about The Twilight Zone with Burgess Meredith, where he was the bookworm. He breaks his glasses. He can't read anything. Great story.
Submitted for your approval. A Man Named Alice. There's a signpost up ahead. Next stop, the Nightmare Zone. Keep listening if you dare. Welcome back. I'm Gary Moore. The Alice Cooper Band was controversial. On-stage electrocutions, guillotines, transgender posing, blood, and violence. People were shocked.
I never took the horror seriously. If I could scare an audience, I would take that seriously, but I'd always make sure there was a punchline, that there was a release from it. If you're just scary, it's not fun to just be scared without releasing, without some kind of a laugh. If you go on a roller coaster, you're scared, but you're laughing because you know you're coming back safely. If you're scared, you're going, this is great.
I used to be such a sweet, sweet thing till they got a hold of me. I opened doors for little old ladies. I helped the blind to see. I got no friends 'cause they read the papers. They can't be seen with me, and I'm getting real shot down, and I'm feeling mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They say he's sick, he's obscene. I got no friends 'cause they read the papers. They can't be seen with me, and I'm feeling real shot down, and I'm getting mean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They say he's sick, he's obscene. My dog bit me on the leg today. My cat clawed my eyes. Mom's been thrown out of the social circle, and Dad has to hide. I went to church incognito when everybody rose. The Reverend Smithy, he recognized me and punched me in the nose. He said, no more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He said, you're sick, you're obscene. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. No more Mr. Nice Guy. He said, you're sick, you're obscene.
Alice Cooper and No More Mr. Nice Guy. That's from the chart-topping 1973 album Billion Dollar Babies. Alice Cooper, the man and the band, were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. And Alice has just released a sequel to his classic 1975 concept album, Welcome to My Nightmare. Can a nightmare be real? Just ask Alice.
You have nightmares, I have nightmares. It's just dreams in themselves. At the time, they seem totally logical. Then when you start telling somebody this dream, you realize how insanely absurd it is that can't possibly happen. Why would all of a sudden you be in a lion's den when you were just in your geometry class? And at the time, oh, okay, now I'm here. And now when you start talking about that nightmare, you start realizing, how insane is that? How did I get from A to B to A to C? Well, this whole thing is based on that. Alice is here, then he's on a train, then he's wrecked. He wakes up. He's the only man on earth. And then there's a congregation. At the time, it all seemed very normal to him. Oh, okay, now I'm there. Alice in Wonderland. He's just going from fantasy to fantasy to fantasy, and it all seems like it makes sense at the time.
I'm a little tired and feeling hazy. I just need to rest my eyes. But I won't go to sleep because it's crazy what happens to me in the night. 'Cause when I go too deep into my slumber, ugly faces, awful places, I don't want to go. No.
Alice Cooper, The Nightmare returns. Welcome to My Nightmare, a sequel to his classic 1975 album, has just been released. Only the 2 is the number 2. Despite his reputation as one of the pioneers of shock rock and glam metal, Alice himself has always insisted his roots lie in vaudeville and showmanship. The key word is entertainment, for himself as well as the audience.
I have never had more fun than working on this album. This album, we were laughing most of the time. The spirit of this album, I think this might be the funniest album we've ever done.
Perhaps part of that humor is the unlikely combination of guest stars on the album. There's legendary guitarist Steve Hunter, replacing the late Glenn Buxton, and Rob Zombie sits in, a man whose musical persona certainly owes a huge debt to Alice Cooper. But then there's also hip-hop pop star Kesha and Alice's golf buddy Vince Gill. On the song Runaway Train, Alice Cooper goes country rock?
And kind of Dylan-ish. And there's no chorus, there's no B section. It's like Highway 61, and the bass, was just an unrelenting bass. When we got to this one place of saying this guitar solo, I went, we have got to get somebody that just sells this beyond self. And we thought Jeff Beck, or this guy. And we're in Nashville. I was doing a thing with Vince Gill that night at the hockey game. We were just gonna do Nadine and a couple songs. And I went, I wonder if Vince could play on this. So we brought the track in, and he listened to it, and what he played on that is almost unplayable. And yet, he played it, and he was like a little kid going, I can do it better. I can do it better. And finally, we said, no, you did it, okay? I played it back, and I said, I don't think you can get it any better than that. But if you listen to what he's playing, it's crazy. It's insanely well done.
I wasn't in my bed. I
Runaway Train, Alice Cooper. That off-the-track guitar work is from country music legend Vince Gill, one of several surprises on Alice Cooper's new Welcome to My Nightmare. That's the number 2. In addition to hard rock songs like Runaway Train, the album also has its share of ballads. Of course, one of Alice's biggest hits was a ballad off the first Nightmare album, Only Women Bleed.
I think that was the lyric that Bob Dylan recognized when he gave you a great compliment about being an underestimated or underlooked songwriter. And I think that might have been the song that he heard that connected him up. And this one, Something to Remember Me By, might be a prettier song, actually. It's more heartbreaking, I think, because the guy's going to leave. And it's just saying, I've got to go, but here's something to remember me by. Now, in the context of this nightmare, it's right after Ghouls Gone Wild, where he's dancing with this zombie character that somehow he's attracted to, and her arm falls off while he's dancing, his leg falls off, and he ends up with just like basically a spinal cord in a head. To me, that's so funny because the song is so pretty. And you picture him, with this beautiful girl singing to it, and he's singing to what's left. That takes a really pretty song out of context and makes it so dark, but it definitely has a sense of humor to it. Now, when we wrote it, I said, on stage, Alice is going to be singing this to basically a spinal column and a head and maybe a part of a shoulder. People don't know whether to be sentimental and melancholy or to laugh because it's such a pretty song. You can't deny that he's in love with what's left of this beautiful girl.
I wanna tell you something, just a word and it's no lie. I got so much feeling inside of me, baby. Our love will last forever, through the changes of the heart, through the lonely nights, whenever we're far apart. Before we say goodbye, all I wanna say is I just wanna give you something to remember me by, something that lasts forever, 'cause our love is for all time. Be gone tomorrow, but I'm here with you tonight. I'll be holding you till morning light, and baby, I'm gonna watch you wake up, scattered clothes across the floor, and hear you whisper to me, love me again once more. Before we say goodbye, all I wanna say is I just wanna give you something to remember me by. I won't be gone forever, and our love is for all time. I wanna give you something to remember me. Something to remember further on down the line. Something to remember me by.
Something to Remember Me By, a pretty ballad sung by a guy to a beautiful zombie girl who keeps losing body parts as he sings to her, Alice Cooper. Welcome to My Nightmare continues after this. Hey, we're back. Look out, Alice Cooper is having another nightmare. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
I gotta stay awake. I just can't sleep. Because I know inside, if I close my eyes, it'll be the death of me. Because I fear the night. When the darkness creeps, that's when the shadows thrive. That's when I must survive. Cause every night they come for me. I'm shaking in the ice cold shower. I've been here for about a week. But if I leave, I can doze for hours. And that will surely be the end of a coward like me. Caffeine, caffeine. Amphetamine. A little speed is all I need. Caffeine, caffeine. I won't sleep at night. I won't rest my head. Because I realize if I shut my eyes, I'm gonna wake up dead. I'm in a desperate way. I'm very near the end. And all I know is a triple shot of Joe is my only friend. I'm shaking in the ice cold shower. I've been here for about a week. But if I leave, I can doze for hours. And that will surely be the end of a coward like me. Caffeine, caffeine. Amphetamine. A little speed is all I need. Caffeine, caffeine. Caffeine, caffeine. Amphetamine. A little speed is all I need. Caffeine, caffeine. Caffeine, caffeine. Amphetamine. A little speed is all I need. Caffeine, caffeine.
Caffeine, Alice Cooper. That's from the just released concept album, Welcome to My Nightmare, emphasis on the number 2. I'm Gary Moore. The persona, Alice Cooper, popped up in the late 60s against the backdrop of hippies, feel-good soft rock, and psychedelia. Why invent Alice then?
I invented Alice because the world was against this band, and I was going to invent a villain that was going to spit back in their face and say, okay, you're going to have to deal with this villain now. This band that's not just a band. They're standing in the way of everything, you know. And I think Alice was a defensive character. The makeup, everything was all in defiance of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, who were friends of ours. And at the same time, I had no problem with being devious. Give them a pop record like No More Mr. Nice Guy, you know. But underneath it was this anarchy of Alice Cooper that was pushing it. And pretty soon when we got big enough, then we could do School's Out. And again, that was Bob Ezrin saying, we can't just put out a pop record, it's got to have. And then he would add this little bit of minor, this little bit of stuff that makes it subversive. And that to me was what was really important. Even when I worked with Desmond Child on Poison, I said, Desmond, you know, I love what you're doing with Bon Jovi. Those songs are so good. They're such great radio songs. They're really interesting. They're well done. I love what you're doing with Aerosmith. I love what you're doing with Jet. I said, the Alice song has got to be dangerous. It's got to be dark, It's got to be sexy, and it's got to have the element of immediate radio play. And that's when Poison came out.
Your cruel device, your blood like ice. One look could kill my pain, your thrill. I wanna love you, but I better not touch. I wanna hold you, but my senses tell me to stop. I wanna kiss you, but I want it too much. I wanna taste you, but your lips are venomous poison. Your poison running through my veins. Your poison. I don't wanna break these chains. Your mouth so hot, your web I'm caught, your skin so wet, black lace on sweat. I hear you calling and it's needles and pins. I wanna hurt you just to hear you screaming my name. Don't wanna touch you, but you're under my skin. I wanna kiss you, but your lips are venomous poison. Your poison running through my veins. Your poison. I don't wanna break these chains. Poison. One look could kill my pain, your thrill. I wanna love you, but I better not touch. I wanna hold you, but my senses tell me to stop. I wanna kiss you, but I want it too much. I wanna taste you, but your lips are venomous poison. Your poison running through my veins. Your poison. I don't wanna break these chains. Poison. I wanna love you, but I better not touch. Don't touch. I wanna hold you, but my senses tell me to stop. I wanna kiss you, but I want it too much, too much. I wanna taste you, but your lips are venomous poison. Well, I don't wanna break these chains. Poison. No, no. Running deep inside my veins. Burning deep inside my veins. Poison. I don't wanna break these chains.
Alice Cooper with Poison from 1989, a song co-written with hitmaker and producer Desmond Child, who has more than 70 hit singles under his belt. Alice's new CD, Welcome to My Nightmare, is a follow-up to an album that's over 35 years old. Does Alice wish he'd made the sequel sooner?
No, I think things always come when they come. They, fall right where they're supposed to fall. I thought, how come we weren't in the Hall of Fame 15 years ago when we were eligible? And now I realized that it was better that we came in now, because it reunited the band at the exact right time to do this album and the right time to do that. Everything fell into place much better. The Hall of Fame thing was just another notch on the ladder for this resurgence.
As the new album draws to a close, we hear a song called I Gotta Get Outta Here.
That's the punchline of the whole album. Because in the end, the choir, isn't it clear to you yet? What part of Dead don't you get? That was the punchline. I came into Bob one day and I went, what part of Dead don't you get? I said, that's the punchline of the whole album. So he's going, you're not in a nightmare. You died on the train. You died when you went to sleep. what do we have to do to convince you you're dead? And then there's this big pregnant pause there, like, huh?
I can't wait to wake up in my very own bed, far away from the madness and my pounding head, the shiver up my spine and this feeling of dread. Well, first I finally passed out, then I woke up in pain, tangled in the wreckage of a runaway train. Was I the last man on earth, or was I just insane? I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I'm getting the message, it's totally clear. Yeah, I really gotta get out of here. I danced at a disco where the bodies all fell, piled up to the sky. What a sulphurous smell. Man, the ghouls on the beach, they were hotter than hell. I popped the old man, put a hole in his eye, spent the night with the devil. She was such a bad guy, and if he has her way, I will eternally fry. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. It's not complicated, yeah, it's pretty damn clear. I really gotta get out of here. Just wanna be myself again and find my way out of this iniquitous den. I ain't having fun and I ain't making friends. I don't wanna know how this nightmare ends. I don't know why I'm here, why I've fallen from grace. I can't explain the burns or the scars on my face. Somebody please wake me up and get me out of this place. I said I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. They say, is it the message clear to you yet, Sonny? Excuse me? What part of dead don't you get? Whoa, wait a minute. What part of dead don't you get? I'm sorry, are you talking to me? What part of dead don't you get? Hey, I signed on for a nightmare. What part of dead don't you get? Really? I mean, that's a little drastic, don't you think? Don't you get? Hey, whoa! What part of dead don't you get? I get it, but I don't get it. What part of dead don't you get? I'm sinking here. Hello?
I gotta get out of here. That's from Welcome to My Nightmare, with the number 2 replacing the word 2. New music from the legendary Alice Cooper. Now I gotta get out of here. Our program was produced by Ben Manila for Media Mechanics. Written by Merle Kessler. Distribution by Paul Marzalek. Production assistance from Shane Sharkey, Caroline Canizaro, and Eric Byth. Executive producer Elliot Kindle. Special thanks to Stefan Hughes and Emily Kagan at Universal Music Enterprises. Also, Shep Gordon and Toby Mamus from Alive Enterprises. This has been Welcome to My Nightmare, the radio show. Thanks for joining us, and pleasant dreams.
This has been a presentation of Media Mechanics.
Hi, this is Gary Moore. Join me and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Alice Cooper for Welcome to My Nightmare, the radio show. It's only a dream. Or is it? Back in 1975, Alice Cooper released a concept album about a little boy having a very bad night. Now, over 35 years later, Welcome to My Nightmare picks up where the first album left off.
We were not that great of a band to start with, but we got really good.
I'm Gary Moore. My guest is Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and musical monster Alice Cooper. It's Welcome to My Nightmare, the radio show.